I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago. 2 is 4.
Hey there, I am really Marty Levinson. Don't let anybody fool you. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. We've got over 1,000 videos from the last 8+ years of shows on the web, and over 1/3 shows watched and climbing. Thank you so much. Community Policing Caps24.org. And Jewish Chicago will be coming out for early voting. Because of all the Jewish holidays and because of what I got to do, if you want to participate, the schedule is earlier this year. If you want to put something in, it's got to be there you got to let me know by October 13th. October 14th, I need everything in my hands finished. And then I'll take time off for the Sabbath. And that'll give me a little bit of time, very little time, to finish putting the paper together. So it's actually going to print that Wednesday night with 3 holidays and the Sabbath in the middle there. It's going to be like nuts. So everything's got to be in early this year, gang. So please follow through. Over 70,000 circulation. And it is a pleasure to have a frequent guest on the show. And we're talking about the clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, and it only took me about 2.5 terms to get that term straight. Dorothy Brown, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for gracing us today. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and very warm, summery day. I wish it was that way on Election Day, but that never happens.
Never happens.
Yeah, there's a light smiling on the political machine that way. So anyway, you're always into you are running for re-election. That's in November.
Yes.
Okay, and did they assign ballot numbers yet?
They did not yet. But as soon as we get it, I'll let you know.
No, that'd be great. Definitely great. So you're always involved in a number of different projects within the community. You know what? One thing you mentioned to me, which is something I had never even thought about, but in a lot of places, the clerk of the circuit court is appointed. In some places, it's elected. Okay, how does that actually work? And what's the real difference when you have a process like that?
Well, and I'm happy that you asked that question because, they have had some moves. The county board actually had a resolution a couple of months ago attempting to get the clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, only the clerk of the court of Cook County, not the other 101 clerks in the state of Illinois appointed versus elected. Actually, they were trying to put a resolution to have the state legislature to actually consider passing a law to make that case. So, of course, I sent forth the argument, and the clerks of courts, the president of the Clerk of Court Association of the state of Illinois actually sent forth a letter as well. And many people came and argued the fact that, first of all, you don't want to take a position like clerk of the circuit court of Cook County or any county out of the hands of the voters for electing, especially given the fact that you're talking about criminal records, you're talking about civil cases where people are losing or making millions of dollars because of some incident that has occurred. So things that affect people's lives, whether or not they're going to be incarcerated or not incarcerated. And with the circuit court being the court of first impressions, now, even in those states where the position is appointed, I don't agree with that. Because the circuit court, the state court, if you will, that's the court of first impressions. In other words, you have the original record. Sometimes it's the only record, especially for pro se's. They may not even keep a copy. So you have the original record. It is the court of first impressions. And so if someone was going to manipulate a case, then it could very easily be manipulated at the circuit court level. You could win or lose based upon some evidence missing or some exhibits missing. So you really need a position like the circuit court, the state court, to be elected and accountable only to the people, not appointed by a few people, not even appointed by the judges. Now, a lot of people say, well, why don't the chief judge or why don't the judges appoint a circuit court? Now, a circuit court clerk. Now, don't you remember Gaylord? When there was collusion between the clerks and the sheriffs and the judges, and a lot of people went to prison over that. If you had the clerk reportable to the judge or appointed by the judge, then that clerk would be more, accountable to that judge, a judge who actually makes the record, and then that judge would also control the record so that that record could be manipulated very easily. No checks and balances would be in place. People understand checks and balances. And so it's important that you have the clerk reportable to the people. In other words, to an elected clerk that would not be, cannot be manipulated by a judge or controlled by the judge or a few politicians, if you will.
Well, unfortunately, basically that, I don't know exactly who's behind it, but I know that I can think of about 2 or 3 people that might be.
Well, it failed. It failed.
Thank God.
It failed. Thank God. A lot of people went, and they talked about not only the checks and balances part of that, but also the fact that the disenfranchisement of voters, taking something away from individuals that they had a right to vote on their clerk of court, where they can come directly to the clerk of court and get their record without worrying about that clerk being accountable or worrying about his or her position, maybe doing the wrong thing and maybe not being appointed the next time. You can't. That just does not make sense.
No,
so
it
it really
makes a lot
failed.
of sense. No, and I'm thank God for that because, apparently you're. I hate to say it, but being the cynic that I am, being an independent person not tied to any of the party powers, they're basically looking to rip jobs away. And if you were busy kissing their butt instead of trying to do a decent job, you wouldn't have that problem.
Exactly. It was really sad. Why would you, and it's all about, sometimes it's all about the individual. Why would you disenfranchise voters just because of one individual's that's in a particular position? But I'm happy that people came to bat for that. And I just wanted to explain why it's so important that we have the clerk of the court as an elected position and not an appointed position, because this position is for the citizens of Cook County.
No, definitely. There's a certain group that's already got too much in the courts fixed. I mean, I'd like to think it's better than the Gaylord days, but there's still problems. And when I see some of the Supreme Court decisions, no.
Well, see, the thing about it, too, is I should make this point. We have the original record, and the appellate court reviews our record, and the Supreme Court reviews our record. So a lot of people will say, well, the Supreme Court appoints its clerk, the appellate court appoints its clerk. Well, that's fine, because they are only looking at records that have been created at the state court level.
Right.
So it's fine for those clerks to be appointed. So.
By the way, I used to cover criminal court building in the mid-'70s, and for more than one place. One of them was I was actually the token white guy in the Daily Defender for a very short time.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one of the bailiffs took a liking to me because I always try to get things right in my stories, and he wanted to take me under his wing and teach me some ropes. And the first thing he told me was, and this is like almost 40 years ago, You can count the number of honest judges in this building on the hand of three-finger Mordecai Brown.
Well, that was 40 years ago.
It was 40 years ago, and I'm not saying that that number was exactly right.
Wow.
But I you know what? I did actually cover the courtrooms of some of the guys who got convicted in Gaylord.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't hard to figure that something funny was going on.
Wow. Yes. So thank you for permitting me to talk about that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I was very curious. You know, I never would have figured that. You know, it's kind of interesting. But then again, you know, I have to understand that anything coming out of the legislature right now, or similar type bodies, or the county president's office, if wherever it came from, is not going to be altruistic or in the best interest of anybody but the office holder themselves.
Well, we'll have to continue to pray.
That's my opinion. I'm not speaking, I don't pretend to speak for you. I'm just telling you what I think.
Well, the important thing is that I'm going to continue to do the good job that I've been doing, working for the people. And I need to stop and thank people for voting for me during this Democratic primary. You know, I was, under serious attack. But the voters recognize the work that I've done all of these years. And you recognize that as well, and I appreciate your endorsement in Jewish Chicago. But the voters recognize it and went against the grain, and they voted for me. And I really appreciate it. And we're going to continue to work hard. I got a few things we'll talk about that we're getting ready to do that's going to be very, very exciting.
Okay, so let's talk. You know, I see something up on your computer screen, and I'm
Yes.
not, even though I don't have my reading glasses on, I'm not totally blind. So you're talking about clearing criminal records. No,
Yes.
I can see.
Mm-hmm. Can you
So
see that?
there's a no, and I saw it before, and I've
Okay.
got a real good memory.
Okay.
You've got something coming up. Give us the date. It's over at the 49th Ward by Joe Moore's office, and it's at Gale School, which is 1631 West Jonquil.
So we're going to...
I can actually see better further than close, right? to tell
Is that
you.
right? Alderman Moore contacted our office, and I want to congratulate him for doing so and being concerned about
He's
the
a
people
really
in
good
his-
guy. I got to give him
he
a lot of
is,
credit.
the individuals in his ward, and he said he wanted us to put on an expungement seminar to teach people about how they can go about clearing their criminal records based upon the law. You know, some people are arrested and not charged. They're arrested and they're found innocent, but yet they have a criminal record. And so, so he contacted our office. So this expungement seminar will be on Saturday, October 8th. It's going to be at the Gale School at 1631 West Janquil, and that's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I believe he's going to have some attorneys there that will actually help you. If you bring your rap sheet and your certified disposition that day, the Cabrini Green Legal Services, who will be in attendance, will actually help you start to prepare your expungement petition. And then, of course, my office will be there to give you information about expungements.
Very cool. And yeah, what else? So you've got more going than that, we know.
Yes, yes. And so we want to talk a little bit about, I'm going to have an amnesty week. You know, these days people...
Does that mean I can return my library book finally?
This is not the library amnesty.
Oh, okay.
How many years have you had that library book?
Actually, I don't, but I just wanted to
I'm
tell
just
a
kidding
joke.
you. And I'm just kidding, too. But actually, this is for fines and fees owed to the courts, regardless of what that situation might be, whether it's a fine, whether it's court costs, or whatever it might be. We're going to be waiving the collection fee because when we send it out to collection agencies, they add a lot of fees to it. And there are also late fees that can be added as well. We're going to waive all of that. You still have to pay your fine. And you still have to pay your fee because we can't waive. That's by law. But we're going to be accepting by phone, and we're going to be accepting at our offices from 8:30 to 4:30, even during the day office hours from October 17th to October 21st. That will be Monday through Friday, October 17th to the 21st. And you don't have to worry about paying any late fees or collection fees. So it almost, after a certain amount of time, those kind of fees can double
Yeah,
your
now
fee.
what kind of offenses are we talking about here?
Anything that you owe the courts, any fines, any fees, whether
Parking
they're
tickets?
misdemeanor, not parking, traffic,
Okay.
moving violations. Okay, because the city of Chicago, I can imagine they do parking tickets. We don't do parking tickets.
Well,
We
actually,
only
it's a
do-
private company. They kind of sold that.
I know they have
forgot about
administrative.
that.
They have administrative hearings.
Yeah.
They have administrative hearings for those, and so you would go to the city of Chicago. And last year, if I'm not mistaken, they had their amnesty week during the month of November. So I would imagine they were going to be having another one this November. But we're going to have ours October 17th through the 21st. I wanted to get that information out there and get it out there quickly so people can prepare for it. Now, mind you, you can come right now and still, pay your fee and fine. You don't have to wait until then, but that's going to be a good time for you to pay.
No, it sounds good. And by the way, thank God I actually don't owe anybody anything that I really know of. Well, a couple of personal loans, but Jewish Chicago's coming. Tra-la, tra-la. It's
You better
minuscule.
take care of
bill.
a few
I don't
things.
even owe anything on my credit card. It's boring lately.
That's a wonderful thing.
I know, I like that.
But the exciting thing is we recently finished reviewing bids for a new case management system.
Wow, that's a biggie.
Brand new case management system for all civil cases, traffic cases, criminal, juvenile, child protection, the whole court system. And this system is going to include electronic filing, because we have a separate electronic filing system, but the system that we selected includes electronic filing. It includes imaging and document management. It has its own cashiering system that interfaces with the general ledger. It's a one-stop shop.
Can this be done on the web?
You're going to be able to do electronic filing over the internet. And I'm working with the chief judge. As a matter of fact, we're this close to having the chief judge to sign a general order to permit individuals and attorneys of records to see their electronic images over the internet.
Cool. Now,
Yes.
see, that would be...
We're this close. We agreed to what the general order should say. We are real close on agreeing to what the policy should say. We were able to get past the county board the subscription contract, because we have to do, it'll be a subscription directly with the vendor, and very good prices that we were able to negotiate for citizens. It's going to be based upon the number of people in your law firm. If it's one person, you get this fee. If it's two people, you get this fee. And everybody will have access to the same images. If your law firm, if it's a case in your law firm, then you'll be able to, and that means you're the attorney of record, then you'll be able to see the electronic images. And so I think that, I don't want to put a particular date on that, but I know very, very soon we'll be signing that general order will be signed by the chief judge, and we'll be able to then put that out on the internet.
Give me a real quick answer. Will an individual be able to look up their own records also?
Yes, individuals and attorneys. If you're a party to the case,
Right.
if you're pro se.
We want to make sure you give your website and your contact information.
Okay. So the website for the clerk of court, of course, is cookcountyclerkofcourt.org.
Yeah, but you are running for office.
And I'm running for office, so that's friendsofdorothybrown.org, friendsofdorothybrown.org, and you can reach me at 773-231-0844.
Please repeat the number.
The phone number is 773-231-0844 to contact my campaign.
And Friends of Dorothy Brown.
friendsofdorothybrown.org.
Real good. I want to thank you very much. Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court. You're running for a fourth term?
Fifth term.
Fifth term,
For
wow.
re-election as Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, the longest serving Clerk of the Circuit Court in the county's history.
Very cool. Good luck in the campaign, which is already in progress.
Thank you. Thank you.